Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award-winning recovery podcast, Get in the Herd, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. I am your host today, Nathan Mitchell, and I am actually tickled. I was going to say tickled pink, but I'm wearing brown, so I guess I'm tickled brown today to have with us Edward Peters. I'm looking at you, thinking Steven, man.
Yeah.
Edward over here, Peters with the Health Brigade, and why I'm tickled is because the work that you all do is really not only just so valuable to the community, but has a special place in my heart because of my own need in active addiction when I was out there doing things. When I needed help, it
Mhm.
was the Whitman Walker Clinic in
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., where I was, that was available to me. And so I put you all sort of in that, in my Nathan's opinion, I put you all in sort of that bucket because that was extremely, extremely helpful and vital,
Yeah.
like literally vital, as in life saving. So,
Okay.
Edward, man, welcome to the show. What's
Thank you.
going on?
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Nathan.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, what's going on? Just living life, man. Doing what I got to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do with the Health Brigade?
I'm a IDU outreach specialist. My targeted population are individuals that inject drugs, and their partners. I do HIV testing at the facility and in the community at different treatment facilities.
Yeah.
I go in.
And so that's how I met you.
Yes.
I met you here at Hatcher, where the McShin Foundation is. You've been coming in here for years
Yes.
since I was a participant, so probably longer, a lot
Yes.
longer.
Yes.
And I love that because you remember me and you're
Yes.
kind and non-judgmental and you bring your folks and it's just there's no judgment. It's
Yeah.
like we're going to test. We do HIV testing, we do Hep C testing,
Yeah.
and I have you done other testings here?
No, just those two
Just
right
those
there.
two?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know that you are all capable of doing what Narcan distribution
Yeah, yeah. We have
trainings.
coverage harm reduction program that we dispense Narcan out in the community, and also we discuss. We go into community stores and dispense also to the owners of those places, just in case they have a overdose right there on the scene. They can just administer
Yeah.
Narcan, save a life.
I love that. You and I were just talking before the show, before the podcast, about, you know, businesses being able to have that
Yeah.
available. And
Yes.
uh, only to find out, I didn't know this, but to find out that you were doing that
Yes.
outreach work. And I thought,
Yes.
oh man, I love that. I love that there's people doing this work
Yes. On the front line.
on the front line, man.
Yes.
You talk about comprehensive. I can't even talk, man.
Yeah. It's all right.
Comprehensive harm reduction, and you talk about that. And for people listening, for people watching or listening, what does that really mean?
It is a evidence-based intervention, right? Evidence-based. It's proven. Uh, we go into the community and we dispense the Narcan and other injectables to prevent the spread of HIV, hepatitis B and C. And also going into the community, picking up the used needles, also give us opportunity
Uh-huh.
to get in close with the neighbors, because a lot of times you got people who inject drugs uh, anywhere in the community, by churches, stores, or anything. So us, by being on the scene, we can also get the used syringes and dispense new ones and encourage people to bring them back to us.
So you have a syringe exchange program,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
And how does that work? And do you need a prescription or any
No.
kind of
No.
card or anything?
We have cards. We get the clients. They come in and we give them. They make their own code up,
Okay.
and when they come back, they present their card and they get their supplies.
Wow. And you guys are what, in the fan? Well, you're not. You're right off the fan in the museum district, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Okay.
at 1010 North Thompson Street.
I drive by you all very
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And we have areas in the city that we go and dispense in, on the north side, the south side, and on the east end. And also right there on site on Mondays, the Conference Harm Reduction Program is right there.
You go out into the community. So
Yes.
wait. So how does that work for say like if I wanted to volunteer? If could I volunteer to
Yes,
help
you
with do?
could. We have a volunteer coordinator. You'll get with her
Mhm.
and just sign a application to go out with the Conference Harm Reduction team, which is a great, awesome team that we put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
What are they? So I didn't actually realize this was all that you did. I didn't
Yeah.
realize all the this warms my heart. When I took a trip around the country last year,
Okay.
when COVID started, I did what everybody else did, and I started
Okay.
traveling. No,
Okay. Okay.
no, crazy enough, I had a trip planned and I took the trip, but
Mm-hmm.
I visited community centers, recovery community centers
Okay.
across the country, and one of the first places I visited was a place in Maryland called oh darn it, I forget the name of the town. I forget the name of the organization too. Darn it, I wasn't expecting to talk about them.
Okay.
But what I did there though, they have a house that they it's a community center. They had
Okay.
a couple beds, but it wasn't really so much housing as it was,
Okay.
crisis immediate
Yeah.
resource provider.
Okay.
However, they had a separate building in the front actually, that was locked, and in that they had all of these gray backpacks,
Okay.
and in these gray backpacks were all that in my head, I'm thinking all the things you would need if you had a comprehensive, harm reduction service that you
Right. Right.
provided out to the community.
Yeah.
So they had,
Yeah.
clean rigs,
Yeah.
alcohol wipes,
Mm-hmm.
bottled water to give,
Yes.
clean
Yes.
water. I think they even had snacks,
Yeah.
to provide
Yeah.
with people, and
Same thing.
probably
Yes.
condoms and all the other stuff.
Yes.
And I thought, this is radical compassion. This is
Yeah.
radical love
Yeah.
in the way that I'm like, I get, misty just thinking about it,
Yeah.
because it's all the non-judgmental stuff that I want for
Yeah.
myself and for
Yeah.
people around me, and I love to hear that you're doing that.
Yeah, yeah, and see the team that we got, Colin King, Zico, Art, Margaret. We got plenty of volunteers. They go out in the community and do the same thing that you just said with all those supplies and more. Because one of the things also you're talking about feminine
Yeah.
product for women and clothes and stuff like that. And people donate things. We have an organization that donate all kind of winter hats and gloves and scarves and stuff like that. And we just go out and, as you said, snacks and stuff like that. And it's awesome.
Do you go out? So is it a volunteer alone going out, or you go out in little teams?
That's staff and maybe one or two volunteers who might want to go out sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. I mean, I'm a person in recovery from a substance use
Okay.
disorder. And, one of the challenges I think for me to get into that, because I would love to do something like
Okay.
that. And I think a challenge early on, at least, if I'm being honest, even now, of course,
Yeah.
is being around the using.
Exactly.
As a
Okay.
person who practices an abstinence-based recovery,
Okay.
I'm learning as a person in recovery to recognize that abstinence-based recovery is not for everybody.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's just been a huge, wonderful learning curve for me. I've
Okay.
just loved that. So what you're doing is you're helping me broaden my mind, and hopefully broadening some minds out
Yeah,
here too.
and see the thing about me, I've been in recovery now for 24 years,
Ooh,
right? And
wow.
so going back to when I first started, going back into the community and seeing what I used to do one time, it shook me for a minute because I had lost, I had lost my edge in a sense. When I was
Mm,
getting high, I didn't feel anything. So now I'm clean and back out there and I'm jumping for everything saying, whoa. And so I had to find a way to do what I do and be comfortable and okay with it. And going back out there again with syringes and stuff like that, in a sense, it shook me for a minute, but then I had to realize what I was doing. I'm helping somebody else. And down the road, perhaps they may want to get into treatment down the road, but that's not the goal right away. And it's okay because I'm helping somebody. So the focus is off of me per se towards them, helping them with
yeah,
other things besides just the using, maybe a medical appointment, giving them some information, maybe nutrition, something like
yeah,
that. And once you help them, they go back home and help somebody else. It's passed along.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the 12 steps, we hear the therapeutic value.
Yes.
Yeah, one helping another, and
Yes.
I think that's the most radical form of love that I think there is. You mentioned your recovery, 24 years.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize it was that long, but that's amazing.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You want to talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah. Yeah. I first got into the process of recovery in 1993. But
Oof. I was in high school. I was in high
yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah. And I worked at Philip Morris, a conglomerate at that time, and I needed some help, so I went into um a detox facility, and of course, it didn't work for me at that time. And 4 years later, uh, I remember where I went, and I remember what the guy told me. He said, the guy that detoxed me, he said, "These people can help you. I can just detox you. They're the professionals. They can help you." I said, okay. So I went back in and I started doing what they suggested that I do. And a day at a time, 24 years.
Damn.
And just let that work.
So what is life like for you now?
It's it's okay. It's not as heavy as it once was because you look at some of the challenges one faced and they baffle you this and that, and they don't now. I just take it a day at a time, and it's
Yeah.
okay. It's not always peaches and cream and all this kind of stuff. It's just life on life terms. Learning how to deal with certain issues that may come up, but they won't overwhelm me like they used to. At one time, I need a substance to feel good about the
Yeah.
situation. It ain't like that no more.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm really grateful too that you continue to not only give back in your professional world,
yeah,
to by serving the people here at the McShin Foundation, but just giving back in your recovery. Like it sounds like your recovery is similar to mine, where we,
yeah,
continue to help the next
yeah,
person.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I do a little service work and a 12-step fellowship also. I've been
mm,
doing that for the whole 24 years that they
yeah.
told me, you know, get involved in this process.
You making coffee?
Oh man, I make the best coffee. Yeah, yeah, I make the
Man, we
best
don't the
coffee.
meetings. I don't know the meetings I've been going to since COVID. Man, I haven't had coffee yet.
Yeah,
I miss that. Well, now I mean I'll
man.
bring my little my
Yeah,
Yeti, but now I
yeah.
got my fancy frou stuff. It's taking somebody's service position away.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that, man. Yeah, but some of the meets are open back up. It's
Yeah,
slow, and I understand.
yeah.
But hopefully we'll be able to get back in. But like I said, there's some they got the good coffee.
There's something that got good coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So tell me now. So at the Health Brigade, man, how expensive are the services there at the Health Brigade? If I show up there today and I say, "Oh, I don't know. I don't even know all the services that you provide." If I go up there and say I'd like to get tested for, STIs, how much am I covering out of pocket here?
that's free.
It's free.
That's free.
For real though.
That's free.
Wow. Anybody
H-
like
HIV testing,
HIV?
hepatitis C testing, and chlamydia and gonorrhea testing is free.
It's free.
It's free.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anybody else that want our services, they'll do a financial screening
Yeah.
because as you just stated, we have more service that we provide, especially for women
Yeah.
that come in that need our services. As a matter of fact, um, some people came in a while ago and a lady had a form of cancer. And the screening, I think it was Susan Corman Foundation or something, it
Yeah.
was a grant. And it was early detection, and she got some treatment at MCV Hospital
Oh
because of
wow.
that, because of that screening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have volunteer doctors coming in providing services, stuff like that. Yes, yeah,
What are all the services you provide? I mean, are you I well, how about this? I'll ask specifically then because I read that you are trans friendly.
yes,
So,
we got that service. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
So you provide the all the medications, the hormones,
the
etc.
hormones. And there's another organization also. If we can't do it right now because I'm not abreast because of COVID, as you just stated, what we are providing within the medical clinic and or Planned Parenthood might get a referral from us, something like that. Nation Foundation, we may send some out over there,
Mm.
and also um, we got a prison program also.
Oh.
Yeah, we got guys going to the penitentiary in prison doing HIV testing also in jails. Yeah. Jahad Abdul Momi.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And another guy named Isaac.
Right.
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. The last I think the last HIV test I took, I think you administered as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which would have been a couple months ago. And I'd like to say I'm, probably at the time where I should do it, but I haven't done anything that would have
Okay.
compromised
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yes.
Just
Yes.
throwing that out there to the world, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for that because I want to tell you part of my story. So, right before I came to the McShin Foundation a week after jail,
Okay.
and I was mandated here. I'd spent some days in the McShin block. We didn't
Okay.
call them pods; they're blocks. It
Yeah.
was a little
Yeah.
small jail, up in Fauquier County.
Okay.
And I was there for 60 days. I was in 3 days. I was in DC the first
Okay.
3 days. I got extradited back to Virginia.
Okay.
Fun word, isn't that?
Yes.
It's a big, powerful word to mean they just got up there and drove me down here, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But here I was going into DC, and I was not my best self.
Right. Right.
Um, and one of my big stresses at the time was I'd been doing a lot of risky behavior, a
Okay.
lot of risky behavior, and
Okay.
I'd found out that, without being too graphic, I realized that there was a real high. I had been at really high risk,
Okay.
really high risk, and I also understand that there's a window of for HIV.
Hmm.
There's a window, So I got tested when I got to jail in
Okay.
Richmond, or in DC, and I tested and I tested negative, and it was calming a little bit, but
Yeah.
I knew that the window was there. And
Right. Right.
so, from there, I went down to Warrenton for about 2 months,
Okay.
and I got here, and I was really stressed about it. I
Right.
really was. It was, I mean, I kept replaying it. Of course, I was angry at the
Yeah.
other people involved, et cetera. This
Hmm.
person lied and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like still not taking any acceptance of my
Hmm.
own part in the situations, but scared, really really scared. And so, when you all came, that was my
Yeah.
first testing, and the first I had broken through the window.
Yeah.
And I kind of, at that, by the time I got tested, I sort of resolved myself to the reality that, whatever happens one way or the
Yeah.
other, there are ways to get, I can have a long fulfilling life,
Exactly. Yeah.
either way. um, so I was really grateful to have. It was probably you here at
Yeah.
the time,
It was me. I
Yeah, I'm
remember.
sure.
I
I
remember.
probably talked about it because
Yeah.
I was scared, and I do that when I'm nervous. I
I
talk,
understand. Yeah.
and even though I may not have expressed how scared I was, maybe I did. It was a terrifying, very helpless feeling, and I
Yeah.
really am so grateful for the non-judgment. So
Yeah.
grateful for the just being able to sit there, and so grateful you came in to do it, because I wouldn't, at the time, I wouldn't have known where to go, and I
Exactly.
didn't have a car. I mean, like, I was dragging my feet,
Right. Right.
and you guys came in and provided the service, and and relief,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that. So
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. Um, what do you find to be like the most fulfilling part of the work that you all do?
Um, and let me also add on also that we also have a mental health service also.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't want to leave that out.
yeah,
If Amelia found out I missed on that, she'll get upset. He did what? He didn't mention us? Yeah, and also case management too. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Um, what's fulfilling for me is to see somebody that we helped years ago, and then you see them, they have flourished and they're doing real well, and they remember what it
yeah.
is that we do, and they call us out by name all the time. We at one time was called the Fan Free Clinic, and then with the Health Brigade. And so they remember the Fan Free Clinic and what we did, that non-judgmental, like you just said, right? And even to this day, when they see me, Fan Free Clinic, yeah, with the Health Brigade, formerly known as Fan Free Clinic, this and that. And so it's stuff like that, seeing those people still doing well. A lot of people went out of town to other programs also, because before there was the healing place, McShin and this and that, we was out in the community,
Yeah.
helping those individuals with the bleach kits, the condoms, and harm reduction, stuff like that during that period of time. And so to see them today
Mhm.
doing well, and they call us out and say thank you, that's reward with all within itself, that we help somebody as an organization, and everybody came together to pitch in, because if it was something that I couldn't do, I go to one of my coworkers, and if it
Yeah.
was something they couldn't do, we pass it on.
Yeah.
And so that's how that worked.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the mental health,
Yeah.
and tell me, well, maybe these are two separate things, but the jail uh, outreach that you all do,
Yeah.
because I sort of glossed over that and realized, oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The jail stuff that you do. What are you all doing in the jails again?
Where it's
Just
my
testing?
coworkers, Jihad
Hmm.
and Isaac, they go in and do testing, hepatitis C testing, and HIV testing. And there's a program called Charlie. If someone is HIV positive, there's a certain amount of time that they provide housing for them when they get out. If they don't have anywhere to go, they provide housing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much to do in the jails. I
Yes.
mean, as you know, I'm sure there's so much to do in the jails. I told you I got my first introduction to recovery in a jail
Okay.
program,
Okay.
and when I got off probation, when I was
Yeah.
finally able to go back into the jails,
Right. Right.
COVID was here.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the jail programs. And so we've been doing this. I don't know if I told you this, but our biggest audience are people who are currently incarcerated
Okay.
because we give this away free
Man,
to
that's all right.
different places. I love it.
That's all
It's my
right.
favorite thing that we do.
Yes.
One of my favorite things we do. And today,
Yeah.
today and Tuesday, I got to go into Richmond City Jail for the
Yeah.
first time.
Whoa.
And I went in Tuesday. I think you probably know Moses. I went in
Yeah.
Tuesday with Moses.
Yeah.
That was a treat. It's always a treat. You get to spend time with Moses.
Good guy.
And I got to spend time today. We were doubled up. By coincidence, we just had two facilitators, but I
Okay.
had somebody who works at the jail,
Okay.
and he was doing a group on anger management. And I thought, well, hot damn, if that's not what I'm struggling with right
Man.
now myself.
Yeah.
And here I get to
Okay.
participate and join in this conversation with all these anger management experts,
Man, that's
all
all
of
right.
them, you know,
Yes.
and had a great conversation. And I'm grateful to have that and be able to do that. I told Mandy, our coordinator, our
Yeah.
director, like, I want to be regular going in there. I
Okay.
want to form a relationship
Yeah.
and trust with these guys and with myself because I know it's going to help me
Yeah. Okay.
as I'm listening because my experience in jail is not all that. I had 18 days right after I got my first arrest when I was 41. My
Okay.
legal consequences, I was later in life, 41.
Yeah.
And then I served 63 days the next time, about a year later. So, like, I have not a ton of time in jail, and really, Fauquier County
Yeah.
Adult Detention Center,
Yeah.
is a is it is what it is. You don't want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
spend time in jail,
Yeah.
but it's a little tiny jail, and it's decent food, and
Okay.
it is what it is.
Okay.
Those 3 days in DC were rough
Okay.
for me. I was also detoxing
Okay.
off of well, uppers.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
which was not fun. For anybody out there who has experienced this, and I'm sure many of you have, but the detox from uppers is basically just sleeping and eating for a
Yeah.
while, and the brain starts to heal itself after some time. But that time, man, like I recognized a lot of what was going on around there, but I was so stuck in my own self pity
Okay.
for a lot of that time, to be objective. Well, I think to be objective, period, would be difficult, but certainly objective with all these, you know, extreme factors
Right. Right.
introduced as well. I didn't see as much of what is going on until like, I've been around here for a little while, and I
Yeah.
hear and I talk to, and I'm a recovery coach. I'm a PRS, and so I work with individuals one on one and in groups, and then going in today,
Yeah.
and seeing a little bit more and realizing, wow, we're just, I'd love to say I went in, I didn't have any biases or anything, but I'm human, and I'm going to recognize that. I'm going to uh, I'm going to honor that I went in there with some fear, some real fear. Like, I'm not going to be able to relate to anybody.
Okay.
What are they going to get from me? My ego's going to come in there. I'm also, and here I am telling myself these stories, and
Right. Right.
I was like, I'm not like anything like these guys. I'm going to be older and what, all the things. I mean,
Right.
like all
Right.
the things. And I go in there and I'm like, and recovery teaches me to keep an open mind
Yeah.
and teaches me that my first thought doesn't have to be my last thought. So grateful for that, right? And to go in there and just talk and listen to these guys, because really I spent most of the time
Right. Right.
listening to these guys, and I'm like, there's so much to do, but these guys are really got some great support right now. They need more.
Right.
They
Right. Yeah.
need more, and the guys that are in there want to be in there in
Yeah.
that particular pod. I
Right.
mean,
Right. Yeah.
but we need more support in there if
Yeah.
we're gonna release people from these situations. We need to make sure that we're not putting people back into a what they just came out of, or what
Yeah.
we want to put people. What am I
Yeah.
trying to say?
Yeah. Well, see, that's not my
I'm
experience.
angry,
Right. I understand. Yeah, but that's not my experience going in jails. Only
Hmm.
through H and I, speaking through H and
Well,
I, and I had a three of doing that, and also I was laughing to myself when you said you got locked at 41. So did I, right? Hanover County jail also during the period of time, and that helped my transformation too. I was sentenced to 10 years probation,
ooh,
and I never looked back. That was in '97, and that's how I ended up in recovery because I thought back. These people like the guy said, can help me. So I went back to get that help, and I got the help from them. And it took a while, but I remember that experience in that jail, detoxing
Yeah.
for about 7 days straight, not being able to sleep,
Oof.
eat, or anything. And
Oof.
so I'm not lost on it. So when I got a chance to go down to Richmond City Jail through H&I, Hospital Institutions, uh, it was a thrill for me. And during that time, it was an old jail, no air conditioner or anything. And I was on some medication for hepatitis
Oof.
C, interferon and ribavirin during that time. And I wasn't feeling well. But I went in, and when I told them what I was going through and how I was feeling and stuff like that, it was so hot. I remember taking the water they gave me, pouring on top of my head, and I'm still speaking at the same time, and guys clapping,
I
and,
love
and,
it.
and just giving back to them guys, man, let them know that it's okay where I was during that time. So thank God for the guy that asked me. It was a facilitator named Lester. He has since transitioned. So thank God for Lester.
Yeah.
And I've been to a lot of places just speaking through H&I during my process.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of went off on a tangent. I
It's all
did.
right. It's all right.
My point, bringing it back though, and I love what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the mental health piece,
Yeah.
right? It's so barely addressed.
Yeah.
Barely addressed. Period. In
Yeah.
our society.
Yeah.
And certainly any people currently experiencing incarceration are at a real danger zone right there. So
Yeah.
making sure that we have these low barrier threshold
Yeah.
facility opportunities to get the mental health when people do go back into society,
Yeah.
into get out of the carceral system, making sure that that's available
Yeah.
like that you all have, is extremely important.
Yes. Yes.
um,
Yes. It is.
how do you get involved in the mental health services?
Well, myself, I don't.
Yeah,
It's, it's,
yeah.
it's it's a team, million, but at the same time, um, I also work at the healing place. And so a lot of
Oh,
time when individuals come up in there, and I've known some of these people all my life. And so when they come up in there and then you list your medication
that's
and
cool.
you say, I didn't know, man. Truth, I didn't know.
Yeah,
And so it's prevalent, like you just said, a lot of younger guys out here and older people uh, suffer from mental health
right.
disorder. And it's not being addressed in its entirety or all of its complexities and things like that. And man, it's real deep. And you can tell by today's society, a lot of stuff is going on, the anger and stuff like this. They said it was COVID, this and that. But I'm thinking some of this stuff had been there long before
Hmm.
COVID. It just wasn't addressed and things like that. Some of the traumas and all these kind of things, man.
Yeah,
Uh, and as you stated, because of COVID, a lot of people not getting what they need, their appointments and all this kind of stuff. They're backed up and stuff like that. And uh, I'm so glad, like you mentioned about the city jail and other jails that have anger management
yeah,
classes and things like that for the inmates, so they won't just go right back there. Learn how to pause and take a break and stuff like that, and recognize that all your problems not gonna be solved by acting out and stuff like
yeah,
that. You will end up right back in the same place uh, because of your actions, and so
yeah,
that's awesome. But anytime you look at some of our youth out there who they're not getting what they need growing up, stuff like that. They have some anger issues and stuff like that. I can remember when I first started doing outreach, most of the drug dealers were the young guys. And
yeah.
so as they grow older, they still become the same drug dealer, either the penitentiary or
Mm,
or the graveyard. And so a lot of them got anger issues growing up also.
yeah,
And they end up acting out. I don't have this, I don't have that. I want this, I want that. And it's a little tough. And you're in recovery, and so I'm pretty sure you heard guys share what's going on within their upbringing and stuff like that, and you'll hear about their traumas and stuff like that. And that's another thing we should do doing outreach. We listen.
yeah,
We listen. That's our job, just to shut up and listen,
yeah,
and they'll tell us how we can help them.
yeah.
A lot of times.
I love that. Thank you for going on that little jail journey with me there. I know you're more of the harm reduction side and testing them. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and let's talk about, if you will, let's talk about what we're doing well and what we need to do more of.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You want to take a little break, Art? Throw that to what would be a commercial.
Yeah, we'll take a commercial right now.
I
Ready?
love it. Oh, look at you already on there. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.
Welcome back, everybody, to the award-winning recovery podcast, Get in the Herd, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. I'm your host, Nathan Mitchell, and today we have, I'm going to call you Stephen. It's stuck in my head.
And I just say, Edward.
Yeah, we've got Edward over here coming to us from the Health Brigade. This guy, I really appreciated the talk so far. While we were on break, I was watching the commercial there, and I was thinking, talking to Art over there, our producer. Art, we need to get a drone.
We do.
We do. And so did you see the little blip, the video blurb, whatever we had, but during the break?
No.
In the video, there's a camera shot that just goes up into the air and past the steeple on this building, this church right here. It goes high up there. It's a drone camera.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm thinking, I want to do that again. Okay. I want the drone. I want to go around and take more camera shots. So I'm being.
Where did that drone come from?
Oh, I'm sure it belonged to Todd when he did it.
Yeah, we can do that. We can tell Melanie and get it like this.
Well, and what I'm hearing is sponsorship opportunities.
Yes.
So hey, Doug Levy, if you're watching, I've got the Phoenix here. Doug. Art is wearing. Man, this is what happens, dude. I've been up all day. Okay. I've been talking all day. My tongue gets tied. Right. I have the best people in the world around here. Art is wearing the Phoenix T-shirt. I was yesterday wearing one. I've got the Phoenix Yeti over here. Doug, my friend, we need a drone. All right, back to you, my friend. So before we took a break, I was thinking about, what are the things that we do really well, and in terms of healthcare, comprehensive harm reduction here in Virginia, the things that you all do well. We, I guess, as a state, a commonwealth, and what are the things we need to do to make sure that we're providing the best service that we can to our people?
There's so much need out there. Yeah. One of the things we can do is collaborate better together, right? Just like at the Health Brigade, If I got something, I can go to a coworker. If they can't solve, we go to somebody else. It's a whole agency of people, and so we call it the Health Brigade. Remember years ago when there was a fire and the brigade came and they
Yeah.
passed the buckets and all this kind of stuff to put the fire out, right? So we
I don't think they've
you know
done
what I mean?
that for a
You know what I
long
mean?
time.
Yeah. So we're going all the way back. I'm just a little older than some people, right? And so that still works today. And there has been agencies that's willing to do that, pass the bucket and help put the fire out to reach the people that need to be helped, right? And we just talked about listening, and people can tell you how you can help them.
Yeah.
When I was new in the process of doing outreach, that's what they told me: just be quiet and listen. They'll tell you how you can help them. The gatekeepers and all those people will tell you what's needed in the community. And I'm thinking that's long gone in a sense, the gatekeeper. Where all the gatekeepers at that held those communities down? There was a spokesperson for the for the betterment of the community. And they're gone. And I don't know what happened to them, but the agencies that's providing the help can become the gatekeepers again, in a sense. We're out there on the front line, a lot of us providing services, and we just listen to the people and they'll tell us how to help them. Now, I understand to get a mental health appointment is time consuming. I understand that. But it has to be a way for more money to be spent on that to get people in for the services that they need, not just somebody to pass out pills.
Yeah.
Take this, you'll be okay. I'm talking about somebody to listen and try to help find some avenue to help the people that's going through. There's a lot of trauma, a whole lot of trauma that people have endured over the years, and it has to come out. I'm pretty sure there's some people who can do that, but if you don't have insurance, that real good insurance, that's my thinking. You have a psychiatrist to help you. Now, for us in recovery, we got a 12-step process. That's our psychiatrist sense, but some people get some outside help. You know what I mean? But for the most part, we got a way to vent, to get some stuff out, to in a sense, to heal ourselves. But what about the community as a whole? How do we help them? I understand the pandemic and stuff like that add on more trauma because people lost some loved ones because of COVID and people losing jobs and stuff like that, stuff shutting down. And so, whoa, it's so much to do to get back to some type of normalcy.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And I love the like people like you, the people like a lot of the people, most of the people, if not all the people I work with here.
Yeah.
Probably all the people you work with.
Man, we got amazing crew. Yeah, we're a crew.
Yeah, so we're just gonna put our heads down and work.
Yeah,
just gonna
man.
put our heads down and get this done. I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah.
Just get done.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think about all of these, all the political arguments, and I bring this up only because I read this morning that there are people trying to get rid of here in Virginia in Medicaid. Was expansion happened I think in 2019.
Okay.
And so for anybody who don't know what that is, it's Medicaid was available to only families before 2019. So if you're an individual, you just didn't qualify, which meant that you had to get it somewhere else. But many of us, and I'll put myself in that bucket. When I got out of jail,
okay,
I didn't have a job. I had no money. I didn't have I didn't even have a driver's license at the time. And I had no glasses. I had reading glasses. And I've had prescription glasses since I was 2 years old.
Okay.
So like not being able to see and read for extended periods of time without getting major headaches was a pain in the neck.
Okay.
Not being able to read, like physically read a website to get my prescription glasses.
Right.
I needed somebody. I had to ask somebody to help me navigate a website to get to an eye doctor.
Okay.
And it's like something I never would have thought about until I needed it. And it was like, oh, wow. Like I physically can't sit and read this. And it's Byzantine, labyrinthine. It's just a whole horrible way to figure it out anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm just, reading, my head's getting hurting, and I'm getting frustrated. And finally I had to just go up to when I was a participant here, one of the staff members here, Tracy, she was a AmeriCorps rep at the time.
Yeah.
You may know Tracy.
Yeah.
And I need help. And she was really sweet. Like she didn't have to, but she just sat there and helped me find it. And we made the appointment and I finally did get new.
Okay.
I need to go back actually, but like that, like those sorts of things are really I mean, I guess the word is traumatic. It really is, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm already at this stage of vulnerability, this
Right,
real,
right.
like, I'm in a foreign city.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm just getting out of jail.
Mhm.
I'm 2 months, clean in the language of 12 steps, or I'm 2 months in recovery.
Right,
You
right.
know, I still don't really know how to live life without putting something in me,
Mhm.
alcohol and drugs, and now
Mhm.
I got all these weird things just all thrown at me at the same time, and now I need to get my glasses. I don't have insurance.
Mhm.
I have false teeth, so it's like, and they still need to get fixed and replaced. All of these things, and then you get on there, and it's like, I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part: like, I was a computer science major at one point,
Yeah.
and I get on there, and I was like, I can't figure any of this shit out. It's like, and to have people who can sit there and calmly
Yeah.
just sit there and calmly help me do that.
Yeah.
I know you ain't solving all my problems, but right now you can help me. You're helping me do what will help me to solve my next problem.
Exactly. And that's some of the things that we do out in the community.
Yeah.
Resources, for someone who trying to get their glasses, something to eat, some clothes, shelter, things like that. That's what we do to help people so they won't have to go through it themselves and don't know, and we'll navigate them to somewhere to get those services. If we can't do it at the Health Brigade, we send them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get it done.
Yeah. It's that I know that we're not going to have all the solutions,
No, no,
but
no.
knowing other people who are working on those solutions
Yeah.
like that, having those resources available is key,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, to empower them
Hmm.
to take that first step also, because you can't do it all for them. We'd be
Yeah.
burnt out if we tried. So we empower them,
Yeah.
give them some information and some direction, and wish them well. And if you run into some difficulty, a brick wall, here's my card. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can't help you, I got somebody else that may help you. We
Yeah.
can't promise you everything, but we're gonna do our best to get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
We got you.
I love it, man. I love it. Before we close out, man, I would love to talk about how often you're out in you're out in the community all the time. How many, I guess, how many of those outreach events like you did the other day where you're out, where you're here at McShin,
Yeah.
for a few hours doing testing?
Yeah.
How many of those do you do a week?
Maybe about 4 a week or
4.
so.
Okay.
I'm at the healing place, the shelter,
Yeah.
and the program, the women's facility, and with the comprehensive harm reduction program. When my schedule allow, I go out with them to Luxfield in the East End, on the South Side. I'm
Yeah.
over there, and also when I'm off of work, I'm still out there because I'm from the North Side area, Highland Park, and so I go over there also and provide services out just in front of my mother's house. When people come up, they ask a question. They might need some condom. They want to get into treatment or something like that. I make a call and try to help. So I'm constantly
Yeah.
available and prepared for services.
Yeah. just
Always.
Constant. How do you maintain your own recovery through all of this? How do you maintain your recovery?
I find the balance right to get with sponsees, do step work, get with my sponsor, and I also work at a healing place. They have meetings over there. So even when I'm at work doing testing, I can hear the meeting on the outside. So I'm getting a meeting while I'm working. And so that's a blessing there. And even coming over here downstairs, I see the people in recovery. I still get a blessing when I'm around them.
I love it, man. So, hey, there's a couple comments up here real quick. Was it Martha? Martha Chloe? Do you know this person? She says, "It's good to see you, Edward Peters. Keep up the good work."
Okay, Martha. Yes.
The reason I brought that one up is because
Yes.
the one above it is Justin, our I want to say our emeritus producer, our producer emeritus. Do you think that works?
Something like that.
Our producer emeritus, our previous producer, Justin, or Justice Bug. I'm making fun of him. In love, I'm making love.
Yeah.
Nathan, Art, you're doing an awesome job, dude.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Justin, I love it. Good stuff.
Yes.
Last I saw Justin, 2 weeks ago, he was his last day, and we went out to get. It wasn't all you can eat, but we went to a big giant. What's the name of? You don't know. It was the name of this place. It was one of these Louisiana clam bake type things, and they just crabs and stuff, and they just brought this big giant bucket.
Yeah.
of crabs and
Oh, man.
shrimp and
Whoa.
potatoes and corn and all with all Louisiana spice and
Yeah,
stuff all over it.
okay.
And oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
That's all right.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
That was a good meal.
Yeah.
I took pictures, and I don't usually take pictures of food, and
Okay.
I'm a guy who eats a lot of good meals.
Okay.
But actually I take pictures of food all the time. What am I lying about? But that was the last time I got to see him. He and his
Okay.
girlfriend and I went out to dinner. That was
Yeah.
sweet. Because nowadays, like, I get to have healthy, real relationships with
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I get to see people. You know, you were mentioning, people and watching them grow
Right.
earlier,
Yeah.
and that's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Period, that we do here. It's like seeing somebody. I've been here at McShin as a participant and staff member combined for a little over 4 years.
Yeah.
And which means I've seen a lot of people come through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the organization's been here for 18 years.
Yeah.
So
I remember.
yeah, I bet, right?
Because the guy Jesse, I remember him when he was a participant at the healing place. I'm seeing this guy,
Ooh.
how he has grown tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and seeing people when they were struggling coming in and stuff like that, and I see them now and they're doing well.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
Yes, it works.
I'm really glad you said that about Jesse, because
Yes.
Jesse, I get tongue tied because Jesse's my guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's my
Yeah,
guy. He's
yeah.
my guy. He is he, he's just my guy. And there have been times, like, he was the chief operating officer when I became, as I got here as a participant.
Right. Right.
And you didn't really see much of him unless you were in trouble. So
Yeah.
and that's the case with most people these days. And it's funny because I hear people talk about him and, like, scary. I don't want. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, that guy's got all marshmallows. He's not all marshmallows inside, but he's he's not soft. He's a teddy bear. He's a great guy. And I remember, I won't go into detail, some things that happened, with him, his personal life, that happened when I was a participant, and he just showed back up here.
Mm.
And I just thought, man, if that guy can deal with what he just dealt with and then keep coming and not use and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, what am I bitching about?
Yeah.
And that was a huge hit for me. Now,
Okay.
I'd love to say that was the moment I completely surrendered to everything.
Okay. I understand.
But I took my will back a few times.
Yeah.
Without using, but I was not living a clean life, and I told Jesse what he could do with this program after about 3 months here.
Yeah.
It wasn't nice.
Yeah.
It involved a few choice 4-letter words that start with F, which is funny because now he's my boss.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, I was sitting down with him and I was talking, and actually, I guess it was about 2 years ago, one of our colleagues left, and I thought, well, damn it. Like, I really liked working with this colleague.
Okay.
Like it made work so much more fun. It turns
right.
We're still great friends. I still work with him, actually, separately, like,
Mhm.
sometimes. But it was one of those, I grieve for people. I get into a routine. I like having the certain people around. When Justin left a few weeks ago, I got really testy and cranky
Okay.
with him because,
Yeah.
you're ruining my routine. And,
Yeah.
but when he left, and I looked at Jesse once, I was like, you're not going anywhere anytime soon, are you? He's like, no. I was like, 'cause I don't think I can work here if you're not here.
Yeah. I understand the
just-
feelings. Yeah.
you
The
know, and
same feelings at the Health Brigade, fan free, the Health Brigade.
Yeah.
When people came in, people left, stuff like that, had some feelings. People passed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Learn how to deal with those feelings also, and still provide quality services. Remembering the people who trained me when I first started over there at the Fan Free, Donetta Riley, Francis Wake, Sterling Stewart, people like that who helped me along the way. A guy called Clayton Davis. These guys who taught me about outreach, being in the field, Rick Martin, people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll speak on myself, man. I think I'm hearing the same thing from you, but I have a really beautiful, I'll even say blessed life. I really
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
man, do I get to come to work with some amazing people, and I get to see people like Art, for instance.
Mhm, mhm.
Art just got here in December.
Yeah.
And wasn't doing so hot when he got here, and
Yeah.
and this guy now works here full time, and he's a PRS.
Yeah.
He's working on his hours to get
That's
his
all right.
certification when he can, and I think
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing of this program. Like,
Yeah.
of recovery,
Yeah.
we can find out who we are.
Yeah.
We can get into our authentic selves and we can start helping the next person.
Yes, always.
And start, just doing things that aren't all about the using and all the crap that goes along with that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
understand.
it's been quite the journey, really, to go from where I was in December now to, working here at McShin full time. And
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to
Yeah.
McShin and the people like you and Nathan and people that work in this industry.
Man,
It's been really great.
that's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
That's touching, truly touching.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about the process. When you see people who are struggling and you see them, their eyes open up, and they're participating in their own process of recovery.
Yeah.
That's what we do,
These are the conversations I love to have.
Yeah.
I get all kinds of conversations, as you probably do too. And
Yeah.
sometimes those conversations are, talking about all the death and the sad, and sometimes sometimes that needs to happen. I mean,
It's real.
the reality is the person who had my job before me, died by overdose.
Yeah.
And that stays in my head.
Mhm.
It was pretty poignant when I first started. I mean, it's been a little while since that happened, but his death, I guess his death anniversary is this right around now,
Okay.
sometime this week. And I think about Joseph, and I think about his young kids,
Okay.
and what a beautiful person he was. And I think, here I go dark, but I
It's
think
all
about
right.
all
It's
the
all right.
people that we get to come across, and even the times the little time that we have with it, even if they aren't around anymore, how they touched me. Like I have a piece of artwork from
Right.
somebody who's no longer here,
Yeah.
and I cherish that. I stare at it all the time, and
Yeah.
it's it's a poignant reminder of who they were, and not so much, at least to me, of who they could have been.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get stuck in there sometimes too, and when I do that, I get sad. When I remember who they were, then I'm happy.
Okay.
And I try to remember that, but I don't know why I went down that path. Anything else you want to talk about?
Just the people at the Health Brigade who has supported me the past 20 years.
That's how long you've been there?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And my supervisor would give me space to do my thing, to do it the way that I do it. The Health Outreach Department program manager, guy called Darius, very supportive. Everybody that's there in the whole building, as I stated, the brigade with the buckets coming in to put out the fires to help, and that's people in the medical clinic, everybody in the whole building. Yeah, you talk about Medicaid, stuff like that. We're doing that now. So those that do that kind of work, to simplify, because I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's what they do, and it's amazing to watch them work. The doctor that's there, Dr. Waller, stuff like that. Yeah, the nurses and all these people, the executive director, Carl Legato, people like that, yeah.
Got a good team.
I'm trying to tell you now, yes, yes, indeed.
Okay.
Plenty of support.
I love that. I love what you said too about letting you do your thing.
Yeah.
Jesse lets me do my thing. I love that. Thank you, Jesse. And I don't get yelled at too much. And I get to do that. So
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for being here on the show, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Man, really touching conversation, and I love what you do. I mean, I can't tell you enough. You personally, what you do, and what Health Brigade does.
Yes.
I just there's you fill an incredible niche.
Thank you.
Art, any last thoughts?
No. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the work you do.
Thank you.
I love throwing it at him every once in a while because he's not expecting it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for paying attention and being here today. We'll be back on Tuesday next week. Not quite sure what we got lined up yet, but have a good holiday. We do have a cookout if you're local here in Richmond. We do have a Memorial Day cookout here at Hatcher at the McShin Foundation at between 1 and 4 on Monday, which is Memorial Day. Okay. And we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this here, or if we talked about this outside, but we did just decide that we're going to have a recovery pride event here at the McShin Foundation for the LGBTQIA plus population, resources, and anybody can come, but resources and awareness. We'll have some speakers and food. We'll have testing, I think. Yeah.
We're
And
gonna look at it. Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see what we can do.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll be something there, and we'll also have some other resources and things there. We'll look forward to having that, and that's June 18th. It's a Saturday, 12 to 4, here at Hatcher. There's a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You got to go onto the Facebook website. You got to go on the Facebook page. We've got a ridiculous amount of events scheduled.
That's all right.
I know it's. I
Yeah.
say ridiculous in the best way.
Yeah.
Because I look at and I do the newsletter.
Mhm.
And when I'm getting it ready for June now, and I was looking at it, I'm like, just event. I'm like, yes.
Mhm.
It's A, it's nice to be out of COVID, and B, it's just like, I get to see my family.
Yeah, okay.
My family here.
Yeah.
So it's good to have everybody. We'll see you all next week. Thanks again, Edward, for being here with us. Thanks,
Okay.
Art.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, everybody, make sure you stay in the herd. Take care.